consumes is called as consumer. Okay. One who consumes is going to be consumer. And what does he actually consume?
Products.
Yes, goods and services. Why does he see? Who's a consumer? A consumer is one who is going to buy or use goods and services. Okay. And then why does he consume? To satisfy his wants, right? He is going to satisfy his wants. So he is called as consumer because he is going to buy them and then use them. So what does he buy? He buys goods and services. So 3 questions are answered. So now when we come to consumer equilibrium, what is equilibrium? Equilibrium is defined as what he actually needs. Actual need, what he actually gets. Okay. What he what he actually
I just got news from be joining. Do you mind if in the middle she eats dinner?
Yeah, consumer is one who buys or uses a good or a service. Who's a consumer? One who's going to buy or use. And then what is he going to buy or use? It is going to be goods or services. Why is he buying? Because he wants to satisfy his wants, right? So when he actually, and what is consumer equilibrium talking about? Consumer equilibrium is that point where what he actually needs and what he actually gets intersect. You get me? He needs this and he gets this. So supposing it is going to be, say he is needing so much or what this is, okay? And then he is getting so much. So where this intersects, it is going to be a consumer equilibrium. I need so much and I get so much. So that point where both these meet is going to be called as consumer equilibrium. Am I clear about consumer? Who's a consumer and what a consumer equilibrium is all about? So now when you talk about consumer equilibrium, we have 2 measures, namely one is cardinal utility, which is Marshallian equality, right? Marshallian utility analysis. And the other one is ordinal, which talks about indifference curve. We will see both the analysis and both how they are different from each other, right? So when you talk about cardinal approaches, what he talks about is different goods and services wherein they want to maximize their satisfaction. So satisfaction actually is going to be an abstract concept. So we don't have anything on hand to measure satisfaction. So the quantum of satisfaction you derive is called from a commodity is called as utility, right? Whatever satisfaction I derive from a commodity, the satisfaction is, technically termed as utility. And then we see how much we require, how much of satisfaction from a commodity you require and how much of it you get is called as, and when they both tally or the point where they intersect is called as consumer equilibrium. Are you able to understand? Whenever I say equilibrium, it is an intersection point between 2 concepts. Are you following? What I actually need, what I actually get. So now when I talk about concept of utility, utility is basically any satisfaction, right? Any satisfaction, maybe taste, in terms of taste, in terms of, see, when you go to an ice cream parlor, for example, sometimes you may get the maximum satisfaction, right? Possible, you will love the taste, you will love the ambience, and then you will love the flavor, you will love the color, everything. But there is some other thing to it also based on what is the price I pay to get it, right? How it is measured. Are you following? Both of you? So now how do
Yes,
you
yes.
actually measure utility, right? So it is basically satisfaction, which is counted as utils, right? Now, when I consume one orange, it gives me 2 utils of satisfaction. When I consume an apple, it gives me 2 utils. When I consume 2 apples, it gives me 3 utils, and so on. You're getting me? You're converting it numerically. Whatever is an abstract concept, I'm converting it numerically. And then I am measuring it. Now, what I will do is this util has become an abstract concept. Now, whatever we are talking about is cardinal analysis, which is propounded by Alfred Marshall. Okay, he's the father of welfare economics. Now, when you talk about measurement of satisfaction in utils, what you will do is you are going to say that you are converting it numerically, but again, it is an abstract concept. That is the only drawback of this. So what I will do, I will convert it to rupees, money point of it, right? So when I convert it to rupees, what will happen? It will be converted in monetary terms and I will be measuring. Like one orange has given me satisfaction of 2 utils, which is equal to 1 rupee, right? So then now what has happened here is utility can be measured in money terms or in price. As I told you, at what price did I get this satisfaction? You were very happy when you went to the ice cream parlor because the taste was good, the flavors were good, the ambience was good, but then at what price did it come to you, right? So you are going to say, I got 200 utils of satisfaction, right? Are you following this? So you are going to check it out on that by seeing the monetary value of it. Power always want satisfying power, and as per cardinal utility, it is measured in utils, right? And this utils, now since it is abstract, it differs from product to product, good to good, service to service, person to person, right? So it is difficult to measure and hence you convert it to monetary terms. It became easier for them to measure, right? Now, what do they say here? Utility is just satisfying your want. It is not the pleasure that you are deriving. So you get me here, the difference? Now you will ask me, when I went to the ice cream parlor, I became happy, right? You did not become happy. You were satisfied. The ambience satisfied you. Pleasure is at a higher level. You're getting me? Something beyond the satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is different and customer pleasure is different, right? For 200 rupees, if I offer you a 5-star hotel room for a day, then that becomes a pleasure, something over and above. You will get satisfaction plus something like a bonus. Are you getting my point here? Are you getting my point? The difference between satisfaction and pleasure. When I say utility, again, we said it is a subjective term. As you asked me, Maitri, person to person it differs, right? Janani, are you following?
Yeah, Amma.
Yeah.
What is marginal utility?
We'll come to all these things. Let us go step by step, okay? So now there are two very, very important aspects or concepts when we talk about utility. There is one, total and marginal utility, and we will also discuss about the law of diminishing marginal utility. See, for example, I have 16 units, or say for simplicity's sake, 4 units of an ice cream. When you consume the first unit, you will get the satisfaction of say 10 units, 10 utils, okay? And then the second unit gives you 8 units. Can I draw it on the whiteboard and show you if it's easier? See. Now, when I say unit, okay, unit, when I say util total utility. Okay. Marginal utility. Yeah. So when I say again, unit 1, unit 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? First unit gives me, say, 10. And then second unit gives me, say, 9. I'll tell you why also. Third unit gives me, again, 9 or say 8. Fourth unit gives me 7. And fifth unit gives me 6. Okay. So now what is this total utility is? It is 10 here. 10. Okay. Now what is this 19? Are you getting me? I'm cumulating. Both first and second put together, total utility is 8. I'll tell you the schedule, I'll explain it to you. I get 27. Now, how do I derive the C? When I consume the first unit of the ice cream, I'm getting 10 utils of satisfaction. 10 utils. Are you getting me? Samajh mein aa raha hai? The utils
Yes.
is what? Your measurement of satisfaction. Okay. So I am getting 10 units. Then when I consume the next unit, a little lesser, 9 unit. Okay. And then a little lesser, still lesser, it is 8 units. So when I accumulate, totally it comes to 27. So now this is going to be 34, right? And then finally it is 40. So what does this actually indicate? See, this is what the theory of law of diminishing marginal utility, which we will be seeing, tells you. Every time you consume something fresh, the amount of satisfaction is so high, right? And subsequent units, you will derive lesser satisfaction. Am I clear? So what is this marginal utility? Marginal utility is this one, right? This one minus this one, which is 9. Okay? This one minus this one is 9. Okay. Now, when I say marginal utility of this, it is going to be this one minus this one. How much is that? 8. Correct? 8. And then now it is going to be this one minus this one, which is 7. And this one minus this one, which is 6. And as you go on consuming additional units, you will derive lesser and lesser satisfaction. Supposing I say 6th unit gives you 4. Okay. So it comes to 44 here. But this comes to, this comes to 4. Correct? Now, when I consume the 7th unit, it becomes 3, okay? Or it becomes 2. Let me put it as 2. And so it becomes 2, right? So that comes to 46. Total unit is, you add all these and see, you will get 46, okay? Now, but then the satisfaction is 2. Are you following what I'm trying to say? Maitri and Janani? Now,
Yes,
if it is 8, it's going to be 0. 8 unit may absolutely nothing. You're just consuming it, right? And then it remains as 46, and this becomes 0. And further, if it goes down, it will move down to negative. Are you following? So, even practically, when you imagine, when you consume the first unit, the highest level of satisfaction.
Why
Yes.
have
Yes.
Yeah.
Definition of total unit is total satisfaction derived by whatever number of units you are consuming, right? Whereas when I say definition of MU is additional satisfaction derived by consuming one additional unit of the good or service. So am I clear here?
Yes, yes.
So that is how you derive. Now there is this total utility and marginal utility. Now we'll talk about law of diminishing marginal utility, which is nothing but we plot this into a schedule, right? Whatever we did earlier. This schedule, we can plot it as graph, right? So when I plot it as graph, should I draw as a rough diagram and explain? Even when you plot it, you'll get the same thing. Now, sorry. Hang on, I'll just use the service. Okay. So this becomes your utils and commodity, right? So when I say utils, number of units, okay? Units, okay? Number of units of the good or service. And when I talk about this, it is going to be the utils, okay? And I will draw this, how your total utility, marginal utility, they are going to be operating here, right? Do you want to see the schedule in the picture of your textbook first before we go to this? Are you able to follow?
Yes, yes.
Sure. So further down, it goes on negative, negative, negative. So this curve will keep coming down. This does not happen with total utility because वहाँ पे थोड़ा तो satisfaction मिल रहा है. भले कम हो आगे जाते जाते, but मिल रहा है. That is what it says. What we saw was who's a consumer and what is a consumer looking out for, satisfaction or want satisfaction. So, and what does he get want satisfaction from? Consuming goods and services. And what is a consumer equilibrium? Consumer equilibrium is an intersection between what is the amount of satisfaction he wants and what is the amount of satisfaction that he gets. So that intersection point is called as consumer equilibrium. Now we spoke about two ways of measuring. One was cardinal, which is Marshall's, which is measured in utils, this one. All we are talking about here is cardinal utility. It was propounded by Marshall and he associated it with money. The utils were associated with money so that they can be easily measured. And then we saw two concepts, namely total utility, wherein total utility from consuming whatever number of units of products are consumed, right? And marginal utility, which talks about additional satisfaction that you get by consuming one additional unit of the commodity. And when you see this curve, when you plot them as a schedule, what do you get here? You see that satisfaction or the utils keep going up and until they stop at a point and then they start receding. This happens in the case of marginal utility, which is supposed to be the additional satisfaction that a consumer gets by consuming additional unit of a commodity. And then when you talk about total utility can never be negative because there is some amount of util that he is deriving. There is some amount of satisfaction that he is deriving. So till here, are you clear? Till here, are you clear?
Yeah.
Now, what is the relationship? Okay, thanks. What is the relationship between marginal utility and total utility? Number one, they are meanings. Meanings say that marginal utility talks about additional unit you get by consuming one additional util or additional satisfaction you get by consuming one additional unit of a commodity, which is measured as change in this delta or this Janani, tell me, what do you want? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. We have not moved on to the other.
Yeah.
Cardinal is
But what
Marshallian.
is it?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Cardinal is Marshallian. The way he is measuring utility, he is measuring utility in terms of utils, right? Now, whatever we are talking about is all about utils. How much of satisfaction you get in terms of unit, though it is abstract, though it cannot be quantified, right? Can I say I get 1 unit of utility here? I get 2 units of utility by consuming an ice cream. It is a satisfaction that you get, which is actually not measurable. So he measured them in a unit called utils, which was later on getting difficult. So he said, I will associate it with money, right? Now, when everything is abstract, but he has actually derived at a way of measuring it. I'm saying here I get 20 utils. I mean, here I get 20 utils by consuming 1 unit. When I consume 2 units, I get 36 utils of satisfaction. That is a unit measured. Marshall has propounded this concept of util to measure utility. Are you understanding, Janani?
Yeah.
Janani? Yeah. So till
Yeah,
now we are only talking about cardinal. We have not moved to ordinal at all. Then we spoke about the concepts that were used, right? This triangle is called as delta. Delta talks about change. Change in the total utility divided by change in quantity. That's how we measured. From 1 unit, it moved to 2 unit. Quantity was 2, right? And then change in the total unit is what here? From 22, it moved to 36, correct? Are you following?
Yes,
Right?
got it.
That is what it is, okay? So everything is measured in terms of total utility when you are talking about marginal utility. And sum of all the marginal utilities talks about your total utility. If you total all this, it will come to 44. Okay. And when you plot them on a graph, you will see your satisfaction is highest at 1 point, after which it starts receding. And it even goes to negative. So that is what we are talking about. And the relationship between total utility and marginal utility is total utility is cumulative of satisfaction derived at every unit of all the units you consume. Whereas marginal utility is going to be total utility of this unit minus total utility derived at the previous unit. That is what we say. Additional satisfaction derived by consuming 1 additional unit of the commodity. Total and marginal utility. TU increases in consumption of a commodity as long as MU is positive, right? Then TU starts declining. You remember this thing we said, it comes to ultimately 44 because there was a -8 there, right? And then later on, as marginal utility starts receding, as you keep consuming additional, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Do you recall the schedule that was plotted? Total marginal at 1 unit, how much it was, at 2 units, how much it was, etc. Maitri and Janani, do you recall the schedule? The table?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at one point, if you remember, there was a -8. That caused your total utility also to fall because you are adding all the marginal utilities. So this -8 will obviously have a negative impact, right, on the total utility when it goes up. You want me to go back to that schedule table or can we proceed?
No.
Okay,
I mean,
as I told you. Okay. So now when we talk about law of diminishing marginal utility, it states that as we consume more and more of a commodity, the utility derived from each successive unit is declining. That's what we just saw as your total utility and marginal utility, wherein you keep eating more and more of the ice cream. The first unit would have given you the maximum satisfaction and gradually it starts receding until you say, I'm tired of ice creams, I don't want any more, which is a negative this thing, marginal utility. Are you following?
Yeah.
And this is actually called as, see, this is actually acceptable to all goods, all services. And this is also very famous. They call it as Gausson's law. Gausson's first law of consumption. Very, very famous thing. This concept is very famous.
The law of marginal utility.
Law of marginal utility is diminishing marginal utility. Law of diminishing marginal utility. There is one more called as law of equimarginal utility. I don't know if you have it here in your syllabus. But law of diminishing marginal utility is very, very important. It is applicable to all the products, all the services, right?